What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm back bringing you guys another VGC team building guide where I'm going to show you how I build 3 completely different VGC teams from scratch. And today we're building around my favorite Pokemon that's brand new in Scarlet and Violet, and that is Cetitan. Cetitan gets a bunch of really cool tools. It gets the Thick Fat ability, it gets the Slush Rush ability, and it gets the Sheer Force ability. You can use Cetitan in so many different ways, and it was a viewer requested pick in my comments section. So if there's a Pokemon that you think would be good for a team building guide series like this, think about letting me know in the comments, and I'll do my absolute best to facilitate those requests. So that being said, let's get right on into this. I don't want to leave this in the background because these guys make a lot of noise. But yeah, let's go take a look at the Showdown Team Builder and basically just go over what Cetitan does bring to the table. Like I said, Thick, Fat, Slush, Rush, Sheer Force, all 3 really good abilities. We're going to be building a team for each of these abilities to showcase Cetitan's strengths, but we also want to really show off its base stats. This Pokemon has amazing base stats. 170 base HP means we don't ever really need to invest in HP to have significant amounts of bulk. It's built similar to something like we've actually covered recently, which is like a Blissey, right? Blissey, we've covered this Pokemon in this team building guide series before. Huge base HP, relatively base defense, and you know, Spadef is actually really nice. But Cetitan, you know, if you put most of your points in like defense and Spadef, this thing can be really bulky and basically just, you know, coast on the fact that it has a high base HP. I think this Pokemon brings a lot to the table. And when I make these guides, I like to start by building a standard version of the Mon first, and then from there, I'm going to experiment out and go into a little bit more of the meme teams and the fun tech at the later stages of the video. So let's just start building the team. I think the first one I'm going to actually build, you know, a lot of people are probably going to think that I'm going to build it with Slush Rush first, which doubles its speed in the snow. But I'm actually going to be building a Sheer Force set first, because this is probably the most competitive set that this Pokemon has, the most standard set. Sheer Force, remember, gives you a 1.3 multiplier on all of your attacks, but it takes away those attacks' secondary effects. So let's talk about what type of attacks work with Sheer Force and what type of attacks don't. So something like an Icicle Crash would get the boost. Remember, it has a 30% chance to make the target flinch. That's a secondary effect. Now, a move that would not get that boost would be something like Superpower. It says lowers the user's attack and defense by 1. That's not a secondary effect. That's like actually the main effect. So you're not going to be able to get a 1.3 boost on Superpower and invalidate the stat drops. I know it's kind of weird how that works, but, you know, that's more of like a cost to use Superpower. It's a better way of looking at it. So that being said, stuff like Icicle Crash definitely get the boost. Let's see, let's just look at a couple other moves that get like the boost from that. So Crash, right? And then we'd have stuff, and let's just sort it by physical, because we're going to build this guy as a physical monster. So sort everything by physical. Things like Earthquake wouldn't get the boost because there's well, actually, double damage. That's not a secondary effect, that's a main effect, right? All the Ice Fangs, Ice Punches, things like Play Rough would get the boost, things like Liquidation would get the boost. So we're probably going to use like Play Rough, Liquidation, make it like a unique fun Terra. And that being said, another thing that gets the boost is a Life Orb. So the holder's attacks do 1.3 damage, and then it loses 1/10 of its max HP after the end of the attack. So actually, that 1/10 recoil for using Life Orb, that's a secondary effect, right? So we actually ignore that with our Sheer Force. You see Landorus do this tech all the time. So I think that Life Orb, Sheer Force is going to be a really cool set here. So we're probably going to build something like that. That being said, what is the right core for something like this? You know, Cetitan is not that slow. So if we were to put it on like a Tailwind core, this is already faster in a Tailwind than things like Genies, things like it's faster than I think Whimsicott, I think. So there, we would just a little bit of speed in it, I'm sure. We'd probably want to get up to like 112-ish or something to be able to focus off like +1 and -1 calcs, but that leaves a lot more points to be put into like attack and then some relative defense and stuff like that. So let's see, what do we really want to add this guy with? If we're taking a look at Cetitan, it's a solo ice type, so we have weaknesses to fire, steel, fighting, so many different things. We need to add some correct partners, and I do think that you know, you could definitely go into a Torn route. You could definitely go into like a Whimsicott route. I think I'm feeling more of a Whimsicott route here. I think we've been using a lot of Torn Urshifu. I think Torn Urshifu is still so good, but it's been a while since I've just used Whimsicott. So we're going to go Whimsicott for this. Whimsicott's being my Tailwind setter of choice, and I'm going to be using it to enable not only the Cetitan, but a lot of other Pokemon on the team. And remember, like I said, we're running this Sheer Force set first, so we don't need to worry about like Slush Rush or other weathers. We'll be using a weather team in just a little bit. So that being said, what do I really want to pair this Whimsicott with that would help Cetitan to its fullest potential? Let's see. We're going to be a little bit Fake Out weak by playing Whim's Cetitan, and the common fake out users are things like Incineroars that get Intimidate. So I would probably want to add something that disincentivizes Incineroar while also helping us cover up for both of our weaknesses to fire and that Pokemon in general. So this is where I'm going to look at Milotic. This is a weird looking core already, right? Because on paper it kind of just gets rolled, but on obviously, like, I actually think this is really good, right? So if your opponent's using, like, a Rillaboom to break our Milotic, we would then pin them with a Cetitan, or, like, maybe we can, like, Encore Lock the Rillaboom to, like, a Fake Out or a Grassy Glide, take away the terrains with, like, an Ice Spinner if we wanted to use that or something like that. So I think there's definitely a lot of value there. I think the latter half of the team has to be really, really solid, though, to be able to utilize this correctly. I'm not going to be going into any Shimpao Dragonites. I'm probably not going to be going into Chiyu Flutters, but I am going to be looking to stack some big damage. I'm probably going to be using, like, an awkwardly booster energied mon. So let's take a look at like photosynthesis here. I want to use like a I want to get like a faster mon that I can utilize with photosynthesis. So maybe like a Roaring Moon, that could definitely work. That's a grass resist. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It's a fighting weakness, but we have like Whimsicott as a good teammate. Walking Weight could even be good. We already have Tailwind up. I'm kind of feeling the Raging Bolt here, but I don't want to be any more weak to Incineroar. Let's add. I mean, it's always Flutter, right? It's always Flutter. It sucks that that's how the game goes sometimes, but like Flutter's a really, really good mon here. We don't have any redirection yet, and I could still even add something like a Terrakion if I felt like it. But that being said, how'd this get to be a Blissey? That's not what we're using here. Blissey's another video. Now let's think about what we want to use. Yeah, what do I want to really put here? We have Tailwind, a couple mons. We need something fast, because like I think one thing that, you know, I build these teams from scratch. I don't have all this stuff written out beforehand, but when you're thinking about adding what mons you want to add after you already have your Tailwind setter picked, you have to remember that just because you're adding a Tailwind setter doesn't mean you have speed control, right? So if we're enabling a base 73 speed mon and a base 81 speed mon with the Tailwind, and they have something like a Flutter Mane that they could enable with Tailwind, well, if I Tailwind and they Tailwind, they still win, right? So we have to have like something that's fast that when we Tailwind and they Tailwind, we still have advantage. So I think I am going to look at like Gouging Fire. Right, I think a booster energy speed Gouging Fire with like snarls and like Breaking Swipes, that could be really, really nice to be able to disincentivize those Flutters and let us just kind of stick around just a little bit longer than we might think. And then I think that's kind of nice. I am going to be looking to pick up some damage here though, so this is where I'm going to be going into. I still think I should use Urshi, but I'm going to go into a Water Pawn, so an Ogerpon. Not a big Water Pawn guy, you know. In a lot of my vids, you see if I use a Ogerpon, it's usually a Fire Pawn, if anything. But I think Water Pawn works really well paired with the Gouging Fire. And I need one mon that can just kind of clean up. If I get my speed control up, I get my damage mitigation, maybe adding a Fake Out user. I could even add like an Iron Hands here. I think Iron Hands could be really, really usable here. I'm going to put Iron Hands. I'm not a big Iron Hands Andy, but I do think this team brings a lot to the table. We have two ground weaknesses, and we have a ground resist and a ground resist. We have fighting weakness, and we have like fighting resist, and then like a bunch of mons that beat up fighting mons. And I also think a really big important part about team building is thinking like what mons are using those moves, right? It's not even just having like a fairy weakness. You know, what are the common fairy type attackers? Flutter, right? If you have just a good mon that's good into specifically Flutter, you know, you can actually still just ignore like a really big fairy weakness in general. Like, for example, we're just going to have like a Heavy Slime Iron Hands, and we're just not even going to care about a Flutter Mane. But I think this is a pretty good team, and it uses Tailwind. We have a couple things that force them to respect it, but at the end of the day, we have like really chunky mons with damage mitigation from Gouging Fire, and the ability to play like a little bit of a long game with Iron Hands, Melodic, and things like that. So it's actually really, really cool looking. So we're going to build with this one first, and let's start building this Titan here. So like I said, Sheer Force, we're going to go Protect here. I definitely think Protect's the right way to do this. And we talked about using Liquidation. We talked about using Play Rough. And we talked about using Icicle Crash. And you could pick Icicle Crash, right, or Ice Punch. They both get the boost from Sheer Force. I'm going to go with Crash. It has 10 more base power. I don't mind the accuracy loss. You know, if it ends up costing me, that's completely my fault, but I like this move, and it'll work here. So remember, I don't like picking my moves, I don't like picking my items or abilities until after I know what moves I want to use. We're probably going to run Protect here on this Whims. I like Encore here. I like... I don't know if I want... Oh, I'm definitely want Tailwind, but I don't know if I want, like, Energy Ball or something else like... Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast. I'm going to put Moonblast right here just because it'll increase our matchup against things like, you know, Baxcalibur, things like Urshi Dark, Urshi Water. This is still good into it, so I think it's fair. For the Melodic, right? Melodic's a bit of a weird mon. I think I'm going to want Icy Wind on it. I'm probably just going to go really, really standard on this Melodic. Something like Protect, Recover, right? Icy Wind, and Scald, right? Really standard. It does not get more standard on the Melodic than this. I just want this Melodic to like not die and sit on the board for a few turns, and it's going to have the competitive ability so it works really well against Incineroars. Gouging Fire, I already talked about having Breaking Swipe and Snarl. I've used this mon a few times. I think that Heat Crash is the right play here, but I like the Morning Sun. This is just how I like to play this mon, and Burning Bulwark, right? I'm noticing that our team is a little bit weak to Amoonguss. That's where like these grass Pokemon are going to be really, really pivotal in mitigating that match. We're probably going to go Grass Terra on hands as well. Speaking about grass Pokemon, we got the Water Pond here. So we're going to have Spiky Shield. If I can type, there we go, Spiky Shield. We're going to go with Follow Me, and then we're going to go Horn Leech, and we're going to go Ivy Cudgel. Really, really good mon. And last but not least, the hands here. We're going to have Fake Out. We're going to have Heavy Slam. We're going to have Thunder Punch over Wild Charge. We're going to talk about why that is in just a little bit. Basically, I'm not going to put a ton of attack on this guy because it's just going to be soaking, intimidates, and two-shotting most things. And last but not least is Drain Punch. So now that we have all of our moves out of the way, this is your little reminder to leave a like on the video if you guys like this series and enjoy the finer aspects of team building featuring, you know, relatively underutilized mons like Cetitan. Leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this series. So now that I have all my moves, I want to start looking at making sure my abilities are right. We have Sheer Force that we want. We have Prankster we want. We're going to set this to competitive, which is going to give us a +2 special attack boost every single time one of our stats is lowered, like an Intimidate. This guy's going to have the Photosynthesis. This is going to have the Water Absorb, and we're going to have Quark Drive here. Now they have those. I'm going to add all my items. We're going to have the Assault Vest here. We're going to have our Wellspray Mask here. We're going to have our Booster Energy here. We're going to have a Leftovers on this Melodic. We're going to have a Sash on this Whimsicott, and last but not least, the Vifor like we talked about here. So we're going pretty fast for this one today. And this is where the EVs come in. I like to do my EVs before my Terras. I usually like to use my Terras as a bit of a band-aid when team building if I have to. I want to make sure my speed stat is correct. So like I said, this stat already doubles into being faster than things like Tornadus's if I have a Tailwind up, and they don't. So that's really, really nice. But I want to make sure that I get to at least like 112. 112 would be outspeeding base 100. So if we were to go, let's plug in Cetitan right here. All right, let's plug in Cetitan, and I'm going to showcase this a little bit more because people said they wanted to see me go in a little bit more depth with stuff like this. So we're going to go all the way up to, how many points do we have on there? 148. So 148. This gets us to 112. You may be thinking like, that doesn't outspeed base 100. It's like, let's think of a popular base 100. Let's think of like Chi-Yu, right? Let's think of Chi-Yu. It doesn't outspeed Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu has a much higher base speed, right? So that would be something like, Chi-Yu would look something like this if it was timid full speed. Shimpow, not Chi-Yu. Look at me being able to type. Typing's hard. Here we go. Set that to 50. 252 timid. This is full investment. And right there. So this is to 167. You say you don't outspeed a Chi-Yu with that. And I will say that given the right circumstances, I do. Now, if I had a Tailwind up, which is like +2 speed, doubling my speed, I would definitely outspeed that Chi-Yu. But without a Tailwind, what other ways do I have to get that? Well, it's through the use of the Icy Wind on the Melodic. So I can protect with my Cetitan. Melodic can soak any damage from a Chi-Yu. Just throw an Icy Wind on it. And then after that Icy Wind, Chi-Yu would go to a -1 speed, which would then drop its speed to 111, right? Which would make us outspeed by 1. The same thing could be said if I had some way to get like a +1 speed, right? Let's say, put the Chi-Yu back to its normal speedster and give me a +1. I would then go to 168. So that's how -1 and +1 calcs work in the speed stat. I know a lot of people already know this, but I got some comments asking for more clarification on that sort of stuff. So that's kind of how that works. That being said, you don't need to just outspeed Chi-Yu. I think another Pokemon you definitely want to outspeed if you're taking a look at like the speed tiers of the meta. You can go all the way down here. Remember, by outspeeding Chi-Yu, you're going to outspeed things like Charizard, Chi-Yu, Entei, Palafin, Salamence, Staraptor, Typhlosion, Zapdos, Volcarona. There's so many good base 100s, but I think you want to go just a little bit farther and outspeed Landorus and Garchomp. I think it's not that much farther. Garchomp is a 102, so 160. Now we want to get to 170 on the Cetitan, especially because Cetitan has moves that punish both of them. So that means Cetitan needs to get to 170. We're also going to get the bump. We're not going to get the bump there. 114, yeah, 114 we get that. Cool. 164. 164. Bam. So that's going to be able to outspeed base 102s, which is great. You know, you're always going to know that you're faster than those if you have that Icy Wind added. From there, I don't mind going with a 252 Adamant. This is the luxury that we get by going with our speed stat first. We know they don't need any more speed. Remember, putting your nature in one of your higher stats is going to give it a higher boost here. So let's just take a look at it. Let's see what would happen if I put my nature in my attack. It goes from 165 to 181. That's 16 points. Let's see if I put that same nature boost into Spadef. It'd go from 75 to 82. That's 7, right? So I would say that instead of 7, I'd much rather have like the 16 boost or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. And then from there, we can just throw the rest of our points in any stats that we want. Remember, our HP stats very bloated, so we don't want to put that many points in there. We don't have an Intimidator, but we do have like Gouging Fire, Breaking Swipe potential. I would say we're chunkier on the physical side than the Spadef side, but there are more popular physical attackers and special attackers. Things like, you know, Urshifus and stuff like that are going to want to come in with those close combats. So that being said, I don't really think that there's any real problem in putting like an 84 into defense and just throwing 4 into Spadef, just because like we can actually mitigate a lot of damage on this defensive side. Remember, we don't have to end our health in a 9 here either because we have the Life Orb. So it's really, really good. I think this Pokemon's going to hit super hard, and I like it a lot. Whimsicott, you can actually just click the button on Whimsicott, but it's going to be wrong, right? It's going to be wrong because we don't want to be that defensive. We have the Sash set for a reason, and because we have 3 support moves, it's giving us that bulky defensive set. But I think just being able to go as fast as possible and hit as hard as possible with that Moonblast definitely be the way to play Whimsicott. Go into the Melodic, make sure our speed stats are right. Remember, we could go up to this 112. I think we could go up to 113, which is 1 speed less than Cetitan, while still outspeeding Landorus. It underspeeds Garchomp, but then it's also not getting you in a speed tie situation. Like, imagine if I had Melodic and Cetitan, and I wanted to like attack one and attack the other, but there's a lot of situations where you double up into the same slot and have the second Marymon KO. If your first attack didn't KO, it would get redirected to the partner. And if you're speed tying your teammate, that's really bad. You don't really want that. So that being said, I think this is fine. You could also even technically get away with like 107 to be able to outspeed like Dragapult and Tailwind, but I think the 113 is fine. I want to be able to outspeed Lando. I'm going to max out Melodic's HP because, well, hold on, let me get my phone. You always have to make sure whenever you're using leftovers that your HP is divisible by 16, so you get that extra tick of leftovers every single time. So let's try and do that right now. So 202 divided by 16. It's not it. Maybe 200 divided by 16. I should probably just know these numbers off the top of my head, but I don't. It's always going to be an even number, but like 194 divided by 16. I don't want to go too low either. 92 divided by 16. 192. That's fine. I can drop those out. So it's about 10 HP less, right? But we're going to need an extra point every single time. And then we can just afford the luxury of going like, whoop, you know, like basically full right there. And when I build Melodics, I don't actually like to go that heavy in special attack. You're going to get any boost from competitive. You don't need to put like a ton of points in Melodic on... And I also want to put my nature in defense. And you maybe think like, that's, you just said put it in where your nature is higher, right? So Melodic has a higher base special attack and Spadef. I'm way more afraid of Melodic dying on the physical side than the special side. Because it has such a chunky Spadef that I think I'm just going to get more value out of mitigating damage from like Shempows, Urshifus, Entei, Dragonites, things like that. Things that like Melodic would actually realistically be fighting. Things like Incineroars, things like Rillaboom. All Melodic's weaknesses in Pokemon that can exploit Melodic are physical. So I'm going to go with something like this, and it's just going to make Melodic as chunky as possible. Like I said, I don't really think that you need to put a ton of special attack here. This is a support Pokemon that plays the long game, not like a competitive one-hitter quitter winner like a Galarian Articuno would be. All right, that being said, Gouging Fire, I built one of these recently. You know, I want to get a booster speed, so that means I should probably be pretty fast. And this guy has a base 91 speed. So that being said, I want to be basically as fast as possible because I want to always outspeed other base 90s. You know, things like Annihilate for base 90, Landorus is a base 91. I want to be able to at least speed tie Landorus and force other like base 100s to actually be jolly and timid. So that being said, I don't think there's really a problem with this. I'm probably going to go with like a 244, 4, 4, 4, and just kind of be like this. I'm still going to get my boost to the highest stat, which is going to be my speed here, but I'm going to be pretty bulky. I don't need to actually put a ton of points in defense or Spadef or anything. I don't need a ton of points in attack. Actually, similar to the Melodic, I want to mitigate damage, and then from there, like, enable things like the Cetitan, Ogerpon, and Iron Hands to actually win the game through the use of, like, not getting KO'd by their my opposing Pokemon and stuff like that. Mitigating the damage will allow these two to actually sweep correctly. That being said, Ogerpon. Ogerpon's a bit of a weird one, right? I think you do need to outspeed Landorus, which is going to be, we were taking a look at Landorus again, which is a 101 over here, 168. So we want to get to 169 on this Ogerpon. Pretty nice stat, if I do say so myself over here. This is going to let you outspeed Landorus, which by proxy would let you outspeed things like Urshifu. So 180 is all you really need on that guy. And then I'm actually just going to go 252, 4, 4, 60. We've done these sets so many times now. You don't need to make the most complicated, crazy, in-depth, balls-deep EV spread that has points in like every single stat and like 30 and 32 in defense and 52 in SPDEF with like 188 in HP. It's like, no. You need to get your speed stat right. You need to get your offensive stat right. And then from there, you look and see, do I want to put most of my points in HP? Or is my HP lower than my respective defense and SPDEF? Or on Cetitan, is my HP higher than my base respective defense or SPDEFs, right? And it's just that easy. And that's all you need to start playing Pokemon competitively is very basic EV spreads like this. And these are the same EV spreads that you're seeing people make day 2 and top cut regionals with. Simple is better when you need to get a specific job done. This thing's job is to disincentivize Urshiwater, disincentivize Landorus, while cleaning up Incineroars in the late game while having a soft amount of redirection. And that's all you need this thing to do. If you want to take out some points out of attack, go nuts. But to start playing, this is all you need. This is a good Ogerpon set. Iron Hands. Iron Hands doesn't really need that much speed. I'm going to put 12 points because I would like to see other Iron Hands and know that I could fake out them. That's all I really want this for. Also, if I was using this in game, I don't really want to go get like a 0 IV speed hands. So I'm going to use 12 points just because I can. Now, Iron Hands is a bit of a weird mon. We're definitely going to go Adamant here because the 140 base attack stat is so high, but it does fall prey to that diminishing returns we talked about in previous iterations of these team building guides, where basically it's so high that like you're ending up going to need like 36, 44, 60 plus points to even get like a next level tick, whereas like you can mitigate so much more damage while putting some of those points in SPDEF. That being said, we want to go until we see this number on the right basically give us 2. We're going to be double dipping with our nature. It's called the bump. All right, so we got it right there. So 85, 87. So we get an extra point. So we go just enough to get that extra point. And then from there, Hands doesn't really need like that much investment there. I actually think you're better off going like 252 here. And then from there, you can actually just throw like, actually maybe like a little bit of investment. You definitely want to still end this with an even number. No, it's fine. It's a fine hand spread. It's actually really just fine hand spread here. I'm not a big fan of Iron Hands, but like being able to really rely on the fact that your HP is so big, you're putting all your points in a bulk, and you have just enough damage. If we actually take a look at some calcs on this thing, let's take a look at like Iron Hands, right? And let's plug in an Iron Hands set versus an Urshiwater. Because everyone's like, that's it. You should be full attack and go do this and go do that. And we're going to show you why that's not actually a good idea, especially on a team like this who plans on mitigating damage. Let's plug in Wild Charge. And let's plug in Thunder Punch. Right? And so if you see Wild Charge and Thunder Punch gets an Urshiwater, it doesn't KO. Let's give ourselves Adamant. Now, we could KO with that Wild Charge, but realistically, let's put our 76 in. We still wouldn't KO. That 76 isn't getting us anything. It's getting us 4% because, again, those diminishing returns. Let's give ourselves Max Attack. Yes, you can KO a Urshifu with Max Attack, but then our hands just can't soak enough damage to be utilized correctly. And then what happens when they throw an Intimidate into the mix? It's a 2-shot. You know what's still a 2-shot? That Thunder Punch with 76, and we save all of our points to be bulk and actually let the Iron Hands have sustain and longevity on the board even at -1. It's still a humongous threat that 2-shots that Urshi. This is the right way to do it. Anticipate getting intimidated. Anticipate that you're still always going to have to 2-hit KO with these moves, and just put your points in bulk. It's really, really good stuff. And we're going to be mitigating a ton of points on the physical and SPDEF side with this EV spread. So really, really good stuff. I like this hand spread. And from here, last thing I want to do is start working at my Terras. Let's make this guy a Grass Terra. This is good against Amoonguss. This is good against Urshiwater and a few other things. It's just the kind of standard way to play it right now. This guy has to be water. Gouging Fire is weird. I've seen a lot of fairies. I've seen a fair bit of stuff on Gouging Fires. I would like to go with a type that mitigates damage from... I'm going to go Grass here as well. I think Amoonguss gives me too many problems if I don't. But I was going to say I wanted to mitigate... I didn't want to lose to King Gambit, but I also just don't even want to fight King Gambit. And at the same time, I don't really want to mess with Rillaboom either, so this is fine. It makes us lose a ground weakness as well. Melota can be 3 or 4 different Terras. I'm going to go with Dark, which is a very, very weird Terra to choose here. It helps me avoid Prankster Taunts, which lets me use Recover, but also it just helps my Psy Spam matchup. I can just not lose to the Psy Spam on the first turn, and if they can't break me with like the Expanding Force, they're never going to be able to break us after we hit that first Snarl right here. They're never going to be, like, we're going to be able to 1v1 the Entity and the Iron Crown, easy peasy. Whimsicott is definitely going to go Ghost here because we're not using a Covert Cloak here, and Cetitan could be 3 or 4 different Terras. I'm going to go with Water here. I really like this into Incineroar with that Liquidation. This is good for Dragon coverage and other dark coverage, and the Icicle Crash is already stabbed, so we're good to go. So that being said, this is the first team showing off Sheer Force, Life Orb, Cetitan. Let's go hop in a game and see if we can actually make this set work. Here we go. Dozo Tatsu. Okay. Dozo Tatsu Lecky. I wonder if it's going to be like an explosion team. That being said, we have a lot of protects. I think we're relatively fine. The way to beat Dozo is to mitigate damage. So like Gouging Fire is good into it. Ogerpod is good into it. Dozo can be good into it. Melodic can just burn the crap out of it, right? So I think that it's not necessarily bad. We do need to watch out for that Amoonguss. I'm going to bring Cetitan out in the mid game. I'm going to lead Gouging Fire Ogerpon and then Cetitan. And then I think I am going to bring the Iron Hands to be able to 1v1 that Flutter in the back. We're going to be in a good spot. Or at least soak some damage from the Flutter. Have a little bit of a fake out pin versus the Dozo if we need it. So I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be hard to break Dozo with Cetitan, but I think the rest of our team is going to be pretty good at disincentivizing the Dozo. Or at least when it does hit the board, like we can stick like 2 breaking swipes, go for like a Grass Terra, Morning Sun, like as long as we get the 2 breaking swipes and make the Dozo back down to neutral, we can always like breaking swipe out value its order ups. And the fact that we're losing our Dragon weakness on the Gouging Fire means we're in a really, really good spot. So let's go into this and see what they're going to do here. I want to see if they lead Lecky, right? Lecky's not bad. Dozo and Tatsu. They just lead Dozo Tatsu. Dude, go nuts. Go nuts, bro. Cannot stop you. Can't stop you. Won't stop you. Don't stop you. I'm actually just going to breaking swipe Spiky Shield. I don't need to do anything drastic with this Ogerpon this turn. You could totally order up here. Ain't no one saying you can't, but like I just want to get that stat drop. And let's see what you do. Rocky Helmet. It's fine. Order up. In the Ogerpon? Yeah, see, like, they thought I was going to go. They thought that I was going to go with Fairy Terra, and I respectfully denied. Just going to go Horn Leech and just soak a little bit of damage. Breaking Swipe, they're back down to neutral, and they're going to be wanting to stack in these order ups, but, like, it's fine. Like, we're good. All good in the neighborhood out here. Order up here, not that much damage. At this point, they're at +1 attack. I'm just going to keep Breaking Swiping and Horn Leeching, and we should be in a good spot. You can definitely take out this Gouging Fire, but like I don't think it's like the end of the world. Look at this health that we're getting. Yes, please. Keep your back down at the minus. Oh, he's rest. Oh, okay. Yo, he's not the only one that knows how to do that. I wonder if he has Sleep Talk. So I'm actually just going to Morning Sun here and just Horn Leech. Eventually I'm going to crit, right? Morning Sun. We can chill her all day. We can chill her like all day. I ain't doing anything else. You got that Sleep Talk? Sleep D's? Sleep Talk, never lucky, up rest. Oh my gosh, value. Cool. Yeah, dude, look at this game. look at this value game with Cetitan, right? Breaking Swipe. And yeah, just Horn Leech it up. So he's back down to -1 now. And these Rocky Helmets, man, it's making it a lot harder, but I do think that we're going to be in a good spot. Let's see if he gets a Sleep Talk into something usable here. Rest again. Yo, never lucky. That's how it do be going. And they're at -2. And it's pretty much his game, right? They're going to wake up this turn. I don't get the KO, but at the same time, like, you're at -2, and you're at 4%. And you could rest again, but, like, wake up, rest. Dude, he's going full Monty out here. We're going to Breaking Swipe and then rest, and go for a Morning Sun the next turn, maybe? Sticking into -3 is really nice. Tatsu's going to get taken out this turn, which means they can actually bring out something else, and Dozo still keeps its buffs. But at like the same time, like I don't know how much that really matters. Order up in there, like it does nothing, bro. Super effective, doesn't even do anything. So you can bring out Regigigas here. I'll probably go like, oh, Flutter. Okay, yeah, go for it. I think that's fine. Photosynthesis speed boost. I think it's okay. We still have Terra here if we need to use it. I actually will just go Burning Bulwark and just hit you in the mouth. Yeah, I like that. Get the boost. 1.2 Ds, bro. Oof. Cudgel these, bro. So it's 2 down. And so Dozo's going to wake up this turn. Oh, they actually have Wave Crash. Okay, so that's dicey for them. That's dicey. They could Wave Crash. What if I didn't Terra there? It's fine. We're still good. They got this asleep Dozo at like -2. And, I mean, I'm trying to use Cetitan here, but it just shows just how good, like, Gouging Fire and Water Pawn are together. Yeah, they're big thinking. What is the last one? Do they have a Moongus? It's Arcanine. That's fine. I'm just going to Morning Sun here then. So definitely get my Morning Sun. I'll just go for a Cudgel. I don't think it matters. We don't need to go into the Dondozo like ever, I don't think. Because he can't Order Up anymore either. Right? Oh, is that a crit? No, it's not even the crit. We just get the KO. Yeah, like Order Up doesn't even get you the boost anymore because Tatsu's... Oh, wait, really? Huh. I could have swore that Tatsu actually had to be on the board, even if it got off. Oh, well, I'm surprised. Color me surprised. Breaking Swipe. Horn Leech. Good for him. I could have swore, though, that the Tatsu actually still had to be on the board. But I guess maybe all it needed was the Commander ability active. I learned something today. But this game's pretty much over. We didn't even need the Cetitan, bro. Like, the game's pretty much over. Yeah, just mitigate more damage. Rocky Helmet can do its worst, but at the same time, like, look at this. Big damage here. Order Up does nothing. And all these times they're throwing these moves into, like, I could just be using, like, Burning Bulwark. That's the game right there. Ooh, that's a lot of damage on that one. And we finish it off right here. So we take those wins. We didn't need Cetitan, but we did bring it. You know, they had things like, you know, the Regigigas, like the Amoonguss. We brought Cetitan in the right situation. Let's go in another one, though. Let's go into another one, because that game, we brought the Cetitan, but it's also, like, you can't just lead with it. Just because we're using a meme doesn't mean we can lead with it. This is a really cool looking team. Very, very hyper-aggressive, like, Prio spam. I think Cetitan could definitely be good here. I think that I would like to force them into a situation where they would like to burn something with an Entei. So if I would like Cetitan in hands, I think they would Sacred Fire the hands and not my Cetitan, right? So that being said, what are the right mons to bring them back? I do like Iron Hands here. I do still like, yeah, let's make sure we bring these the right way. So like Cetitan and Iron Hands. I think I like Gouging Fire into Shempal. So I'm going to bring that. And then I don't necessarily need Melodic because there's no Intimidate users. Water Pond's kind of just okay. I think Whimsicott might be good for being able to Encore, but at the same time, like, it's probably just Water Pond. I don't really like Water Pond here. I like Melodic just a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't really have anything to enable with the Melodic. So, this is a hard one. I'll bring the Ogre Pond. Bring the Ogre Pond. Executive decision, bringing Ogre Pond. Alright, so Dragonite and Ogre Pond. Look at this. Look at this board. So we can go Fake Out there and just pop it right there. Or you can just double into that thing. It's not bad. I think I'm just going to Icicle Crash it. What are you going to do? Normal Terra? Like, I don't care. Don't care. You could go Normal Terra. This will KO you, and if you don't normal, and this would redirect my Drain Punch into the Ogre Pond. And if you do Normal Terra, I'm going to Icicle Crash. It's going to do like 40-ish, maybe even more %. And then Iron Hands would just finish it off. So this is a win. This is it. This is a win. You could follow me too. You just lose your Ogre Pond, right? So we're in a really, really good spot here. As long as we hit the Icicle Crash, right? Watch, they're going to like protect. Okay, Spiky Shield. Cool. Icicle Crash. Dunzo. Iron Hand's going to take some damage, but like, you see how this is the same turn that would have happened if I clicked Fake Out, but I didn't need to click Fake Out to make it happen. I actually covered a lot more options than just clicking a Fake Out. Like, imagine if I just clicked that Fake Out and then just Pivot and Flutter. Like, oh, that'd have been bad. But this sealed up the Dragonite slot. And they don't even know what I did. They don't even know that I double targeted Dragonite. That's the thing. So, like, in Game 2, if they want to do something a little bit different and I open up the exact same way, and this, in Game 2, they would, like, then they would tear, they would still lose the Dragonite. So there's the Flutter right there. We're probably just going to Terastallize here, Heavy Slam. I would not be surprised to see this guy follow me. So I think this turn I am just going to Protect here. And I'll be bad. I'll be bad. It's okay. You can follow me. You're allowed to do that. But I feel like you're behind. Yeah, there's no follow me there. You know that you're behind, right? You know you're down a mon. You can't play the slow game. That's a Titan threatens too much damage over here. So follow me. If I basically just double into that Ogre Pond who's protected on cool, then you would lose it, right? And now the Flutter's gone. Now I really don't care. You can bring out something that pins. Oh, Grass. I don't know about that one, Chief. Icicle crashed. And let's see. I think we're just going to double into that. Yep. Spiky Shield's fine. We never need to go into Ogre Pond. We always want to force them to force the follow me. So look at this damage. We miss an Icicle Crash. Literally never lucky, but Hand's going to get a little bit of value out of it. And so now this guy could protect if it wanted to, but it's now useless. And now this guy's protector's on cooldown. So now we just go after that. Easy. Easy, easy. So Cetitan, pretty good mon. Dictated a lot of very specific play. Really surprised they didn't want to bring Entei to this matchup. Really surprised they didn't want to bring Entei to this matchup, but I do think Cetitan did a really, really good job of establishing a board presence. We didn't necessarily need Tailwind here. Draco Meteor comes in hot, does not get the crit. As long as we hit this Icicle Crash, look at that damage. It's so much. Finishes that guy off over there, and now we can just do it again. Don't need to even show our mons in the back, hopefully. But yeah, very, very standard team. And Cetitan just established a really, really good board state. Does not get the crit again on the Draco and Oko here. We killed a bunch of monsters with Cetitan here. So really, really good stuff. I think this is a pretty standard way to play Cetitan. You don't necessarily need these same teammates here, but I think like Cetitan is a relatively underutilized Sheer Force mon. It's very, very bulky. It deals a lot of damage. It can soak out. It should always go at least like a 1-for-1. And I think it's a really, really good addition to a lot of people looking to experiment with other mons. It also has one of like the coolest shinies in the game, which is not showing on Showdown, but it's like, it looks like a killer whale. It looks awesome. So let's go into the next Cetitan team that I want to build around. Let's see, the next one that I want to build around. Now, Cetitan gets a few abilities, right? It gets Thick Fat, Slush Rush, and Sheer Force. I think, and we're going to try and use the Slush Rush this time, but we're going to use it in a pretty unique way. Because Slush Rush is a really, really good ability. But it sucks that like Slush Rush only works with like Ice Mons, right? So what if we were to actually use a really unique move that Cetitan gets to give Slush Rush, which doubles your speed in the hail or the snow, like Entrainment to something, and the target's ability changes the match user. So if I give my teammate Entrainment, they now have the Slush Rush if hail's already active. So I can do something like leading a Alolan Ninetales, right? I can lead a Alolan Ninetales. I can set the weather with my Snow Warning, and then I can just pivot out the Alolan Ninetales for whatever I want to enable, and then that Pokemon gets the Slush Rush boost and is just ready to start sweeping. Really, really cool stuff. Hopefully this one is going to be a lot of fun to play. So that being said, we want to surround ourselves with the right teammates and things like that. I do think Iron Bundle is going to be a really, really good mon here for some speed control, being able to hit those blizzards in the hail. I think we're going to use a Torn here as well for additional speed control. Remember, Tornadus also gets Snowscape, so it's a secondary weather user if I need it. Now, these last two slots are going to be the mons that we're enabling here. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? Here we go. Let me know if you would have guessed this. Wheezing and Regigigas. Oh, yes. Look at that. Look at that. So, that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to lead Cetitan and Ninetales. And turn one, we can go protect Aurora Veil or do whatever we want to do. And then next turn, we pivot out the Ninetales for the Gigas, side Entrainment on that mon, take away our slow start ability, give ourselves a Slush Rush, and now we have a full speed like Gigas that's ready to just absolutely plow through our opponent's team. We can also just lead like Torn and do like Torn, Ninetales, Aurora Veil, Blizzards. Bundle's really, really good. Like, we can just lead Weezing and then from there, drop them and then just bring out like Bundle and Cetitan and win the game. There's so many different things this team can do. So hopefully we get some big wins here. Let's start building the team here. Definitely still going to want Protect here. Definitely going to want the Entrainment. I'm going to put the Aurora Veil here. Oh, he doesn't get Aurora Veil. Dude, what a failure of a Pokemon Cetitan must be. How do you not get Aurora Veil? That's nuts. That's fine, though. We don't really need it. I know we're going to want Ice Spinner. And I'm going to put Yawn. I'm a big fan of Yawn on these bulkier Entrainment Cetitan sets. This is personally my favorite Cetitan set right here. So it's a really, really solid set. I think it works fine. I'm going to go Protect, Aurora Veil. Here's my Veil. I'm not a big Veil guy, but it does work here. Do I want Freeze Dry? I do. And I'm going to put Blizzard. I like Freeze Dry just for Gyarados and Water Pond. That's basically it. Bundle. I'm going to make this a Specs bundle, right? So it's going to look like it has Blizzard. It's going to look like it has Freeze Dry. I'm going to have Hydro Pump. And then what do I want this last move to be on a Specs bundle? There's a lot of different things I could put. There are. I could put a lot of different stuff here. Maybe like Hyper Beam. Hold on, I just got a text message. I'm going to check it. One sec. Sorry. Alright. So, yeah, I think that this is what I want on my spec set, but I think that there's like a couple more moves. I could put like a Terra Blast, but like what Terra would I go? Ghost? I mean, there's not really a reason for that. There's a few different things I could do. I could just put like Specs Veil. It's not even bad. It's not bad. Let me think about this. I could just Booster. Yeah, I'm fine with Booster Energy. right? And I'll just go with the standard set. Because I could put Icy Wind there too, but I don't need it. This guy's going to have Snowscape. It's going to have Tailwind. It's going to have Bleak Wind. It's weird that this Tornadus gets like everything, bro. It gets like everything. Do I want Taunt here? Hard to say. I don't necessarily need Taunt. I'm going to put Taunt here. I don't like Amoonguss. I don't like them just water tearing in my face, and I'm just going to put Taunt there. I don't need the Protect. Weezing's going to have Protect. It's going to have Will-O-Wisp. It's going to have Clear Smog. I don't want to deal with Dozos. Don't want to rely on Wisp missing either. And I think I'm actually going to put like Sub. I think I'm actually just going to let this Weezing sit on the board for like a million years. And the Gigas is going to have a Clear Amulet. Clear Amulet Gigas with Protect. Let's see. I'm going to have Ice Punch. I'm going to have... Let's sort it by physical. Right? And let's see the damage that we need. I'm going to have Double Edge. Yo, damage. And let's see. What is the... Drain Punch, maybe? Ooh, that's kind of nice. We don't really have that much. We need a way to hit Flutter. I guess I could put Heavy Slam. I like Rock Slide here, too. I like Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam's good into Flutters. But Flutter's just going to do so much damage. Don't necessarily want to deal with that. How often are we going to be dealing with Flutter? Do I really care? I like Drain Punch. I'm going to put Drain Punch. This is solid. You're mostly just going to be using Double Edge, right? And it seems pretty nice. Cool. So that's all of our moves here. Let's make sure our items are correct. It's kind of hard to say what item I want on this Cetitan. It doesn't necessarily... I'm going to probably put a Covert Cloak. I don't want to waste Terra there. I'm going to make this... You could make it Sashed. I think I'm going to use Sash on my Torn. I guess I'll just put Light Clay. I don't see a problem with that. I'm not a big Ninetales like Light Clay guy, but it works. We're going to go Booster here. We're going to go Sash here. We're going to go Leftovers here. And we already said, like we said, we have the Clear Amulet. So that's all of our moves. And we'll start doing our EVs here. So Titan needs to be as fast as I need it to be. 121 would be able to function better off +1, -1 calcs. We don't have Icy Wind on this bundle, but like, dude, I want Icy Wind. I want Icy Wind. I want Specs. I want to be able to actually utilize +1, -1 calcs here. So this works here. And then from there, we don't need to max out HP, but we should put like some into HP maybe. We're getting massive diminishing returns here. I do think that like you're being able to compare, or sorry, being able to use your ice typing in the snow to actually mitigate damage defense is probably really nice. So like this is probably really good. We don't really need to care that much about any offensive stats because we're just here to use Entrainment. So something like this is going to make us so freaking thick on the defensive side. We're never going to go down. We're going to be able to yawn forever, and it's going to be great. So it's going to be looking like a good set. I think Ninetales, you can actually still just go full speed. Light Clay, you can actually drop out enough to go down to 170 here, and then from there, just go with like a 4. Like this is probably just a more aggressive way to use a Aurora Veil Ninetales bundle. You can just click the button. It's absolutely fine. I like to put my last 4 right there. Tornadus, we're going to be sashed. So unlike clicking the button, you can go 252 plus 252, 4 here. Very, very standard sash set. Weezing doesn't really need to get this. I'm going to make it this fast to be able to outspeed Genies if I want. And then from there goes 252. And Weezing's actually better off built, in my opinion, still going like heavy defense investment because you want to mitigate damage to like Shenpaos, Dragonites, Entei, things like that, Urshifu specifically, and be able to actually stick those Wisps. It's good against Dozo as well. Course Mog's going to be actually pretty nice here, I think. And last but not least, the Gigas. Gigas, I think, needs to be full speed. We're going to find the value in like being able to outspeed other full speed mons and Tailwind. So like what we're going to be doing here is actually getting up a Tailwind without setting Tailwind. Then when we set Tailwind, it's going to be even better, right? So these guys, this is going to be good. I think you can actually just get away with like 252 nature, and then just go like a 4, 244, 4. So very, very standard like physical sweeper set. And then the last thing we need to do is put our Terras on. So Gigas, I'm going to make this Ice Terra. It probably doesn't need it, right? But I like it because I want to get that defense boost, but also I get a double dip of my Ice Punch. It's going to be a lot of fun. Weezings, I like to build with Grass Terra. Tornadus is going to go Ghost because we do not have a Covert Cloak. Bundle, I'm going to double dip Ice because I'm a degenerate. Ninetales is going to be... Ninetales is a weird one. I'm going to go... I would say Grass is sometimes good on Ninetales. I think Water is probably just the best, though, because it mitigates a lot of damage. And then I'm going to go... You don't need to go Ghost. I don't need to go Grass. It's really hard to say what I want to do here then. This is a hard one. Because I want to be able to keep my damage mitigated from my Terra, but like at the same time, I don't necessarily need any of these. I'll go water here as well, just to be able to be better against like Incineroars and Entei in like the late game scenarios. So let's hope this team works and go play some games with it. We just need like a couple wins, and then I'm feeling it, bro. I'm feeling this team. They see what we're working with here. So let's go into this Klefki. Don't really know how much I care about the Klefki. Because, like, I could just lead Regigigas and they're just like, help. But I'm going to try the thing I said. I'm going to lead Cetitan, Ninetales, Gigas, and then I'm going to bring Bundle in the back. And it's going to be, like, the best thing you've, like, ever seen in your life. So let's start up this little timer right here. I can't believe they would actually still want to go, like, Talonflame and Klefki into a Weezing. But, hey, I don't care. At the end of the day, like, also I don't care, right? So they can't intimidate us. It's so cool that we're actually using Clear Amulet on a Gigas next to a Weezing too. I think it's really, really nice because it's one of those things that people I don't think would really expect. And let's see what they want to lead with. Klefki and Glim. Okay, that's fine. So what I think I'm going to do here is actually just protect for one turn. And I'm going to set the Aurora Veil. And you can totally KO this. I'll just bring out the Gigas. Remember, Gigas is going to activate the slow start, and then Cetitan's going to be able to Entrainment over it. And it's going to basically pull up Gigas into gaining Slush Rush mid-turn, and it's going to be really, really nice. Thunderwave's fine. Meteor Beam, like, hey, if you just take this guy out, like, it doesn't matter. You wasted your Meteor Beam, bro. Aurora Veil is up, so I'm just going to go Entrainment here, pivot in the Gigas. I could stick a Yawn here if I want to, but I don't want to lose my Cetitan. I don't want to. And I am ready to start popping things in the mouth with this Gigas. Here we go. Slow start. Never heard of it, bro. Protect. I never heard of that either, bro. Entrainment. I got Slush Rush. We're going Speedy Gonzalez out here. It sucks that we're poisoned. But Cetitan's not. Cool. I mean, this is kind of sick, right? What do we want to do here? They haven't set any screens yet. They can't paralyze me either. It's kind of weird they have both those on the board. We can take away its Prankster and give it Slush Rush. I think I'm going to actually just Yawn the Glamora. And I don't want to protect with Gigas, but I don't really need to do anything else. I'm just going to Drain Punch the Klefki. I'm okay with this. It's just standard damage. I don't need to go deep. And if you do pivot in something like that Arcanine, bro, you're about to be in for a bad time. Get that nice little health back. Rocky Helmet. Ooh, weird. Weird. And remember, we gain Entrainment on that slot, right? So it's not even as bad as like a skill swap would make us lose our Slush Rush. We have two fast guys and now they're drowsy, right? So it's really, really good. We can still pivot in. I think I could just pivot in Bundle here, but I don't want to risk it. Could double into that slot. I think that's a good play. I'm thinking about it though. I'm probably just going to Yawn the Klefki and That did a lot. That did a lot, that foul play. 15 seconds to think. Yo, I called the read, bro! Look at this, dude! Nice Intimidate, dude! Don't even care, bro! Protect's good play on the Klefki, but, like, look at this! Yo, we drinking good tonight, boys! Let's go! Oh, my goodness. Yes, please. Yes, please. We're just vibing out here. So we can just go into that slot again. We're gonna stick the Yawn over here. Drain Punch, do it again. Protect is fine. Like, you can go for the Thunder Waves and go nuts. Like, I'm just chilling out here. Stick these Yawns. That's going to be a Glamora in a couple turns. We can just pivot in our Ninetales if we really wanted to. Yeah, dude, I want to. I'm not doing anything else today, bros. Oh, yes. Let's go. Dude, see, like, this is a Titan set. It's, like, actually usable. You wouldn't see this sort of content, like, anywhere else. You're going to lose your Gale Wings here. We still have Aurora Veil up. This is just good. Like, this is just actually good. I'm going to double edge that, right? I'm going to try and protect and double edge it. I mean, I guess I could just do like that, but I'm going to double edge it. Gigas has done its job. It's time for Bundle to start sweeping, right? Bundle's going to come out in the back and just pop everything out. Boom! Gigas, Slush Rush, right? Slush Rush destroys Talonflame. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that, dude. We're such gamers. Arcanine's going to come back in. It's going to pop a Protect. Bro, don't make me side Drain Punch my Ninetales. Don't make me do it. I'll do it. I ain't doing anything else. I'm going to Blizzard here. And, dude, I'm actually going to do it. It's fine. You can Spiky Shield. E-Speed. Hey, go nuts. Like, you did it. Good job. Congrats. Sludge Bomb. We still have an Aurora Veil. So, big Blizzard. Big Blizzard. And the Blizzard's going to be even bigger right here. Oh my gosh, this is so much damage. We get a brand. I'll get a fresh Aurora Veil. I'll get a fresh coat of paint on this one. And, oh yeah, dude. Look at this. Look at this. This is Specs Blizzard from Iron Bundle in the snow. This person's... They cannot switch their Klefki on this. There's no way. Klefki 62? I think we OHKO. I think we do it. I think we take it out. And I'll get a fresh coat of paint on my Aurora Veil here. Here we go. Grass! Grass! You went grass? No, good E-Speed. I respect you. But you're done, so bro. And we got the crit, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, that's so sick. Okay. It's gonna get even worse for this guy, though. I'm gonna Entrainment and give it Slush Rush. And then the snow's gonna end and it's not gonna be able to Prankster Thunderwave. Oh my gosh. Yo, dude, it's a Titan gaming out here. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Cetitan would be the ultimate gamer Pokemon? It is. This Pokemon can do like literally anything and everything. Here's a Cetitan. There's the Klefki. I'm going to try the Entrainment play. And it doesn't matter. They're just going to Thunderwave. We don't even need to do it. I'll just stick a Yawn. I'll be bad. Protect. Hey, go nuts. Stick that Yawn. Blizzardies. I'm going to hit the Blind Blizzard, boys. Let's just do it. Blind Blizzard. Single target. Thunderwave, it's the right play. Blind Blizzard numero uno. And then Para. Oh, dude, not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Are they going to try and PP stall me with Protect? Nope. Dunzo. Foul play? Oh, that's not doing anything. At this point, Cetitan will win with, like, Ice Spinner, I think. They should just be... Actually, at this point, Struggle will win the game. So let's just go. But hey, we did it. We did. Don't even say that we didn't do it. We totally did it. Look at that. Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about here. That is so sick. So, yeah, I mean, the team definitely works. I don't think you're going to see a better replay than that. Like, we enabled the Gigas. The Gigas went on a sweeping spree. And, yeah, we even got, like, Aurora Veils up. We had Weather Control. Like, this is a really cool team. Like, I want to say also as well, you know, you guys have been watching these team building guides. If you guys like these team building guides, again, this is another reminder, leave a like on the video. If anyone wants to make any of these teams, I leave all of the Pokepaste in the descriptions into actual rentals. I'll feature them on the channel. Like, I would like to. The main reason we're doing this on Showdown isn't because I like Showdown. It's because, like, I can't just get the Mons in game like this. You know, it takes a really long time to EV train all these Mons. But, you know, same thing goes for, like, the Scrafty guide, the Haxor's guide, the Blissey guide, the Iron Treads guide. If you guys liked those teams and want to see them featured or want to make them into rentals, I would love to feature them on the channel. But, yeah, this team's pretty cool. And we got one more. Try to make a really cool Cetitan set. So that being said, we featured Slush Rush, we featured Sheer Force, we have not featured Thick Fat yet, and I think Thick Fat is a really underrated ability on Cetitan, right? So Cetitan here, Thick Fat can be really good. Fire and Ice moves against this Pokemon deal damage with half the offensive stats. So like against like Heatrans, against Incineroars, against Iron Bundles, we're going to heavily mitigate the types, the weakness that we actually take from those things. So that being said, I think this guy can be built really good with like a Yawn set. I know we were using Yawn on the Slush Rush set, but I think that like if we're really featuring Yawn with like leftovers and playing a really long game, I think we actually get some big value out of it. So that being said, what do we want to add here? I'm going to add a Grimmsnarl. I'm going to add a Rillaboom. I'm going to add a Galarian Moltres. And then I'm going to add a Flutter and a Chi-Yu, right? What does this team look like it does? We're going to be setting screens, we're going to be having terrain control, we're going to be having speed control from the Moltres, and we're going to enable Chi-Yu and Flutter to win the game while disincentivizing things that would normally be good against Chi-Yu and Flutter, like a Shenpow or something with this Cetitan. Very cool set here. So let's start building our move sets here. We're definitely going to want the Protect. Definitely want that Yawn. Right, and so there's a bunch of other support moves that you actually do get on Cetitan. You get things like Bulldoze, you get things like Chilling Water, things like Helping Hand. You get a lot of cool stuff. We're going to go Icy Wind here, and I'm probably going to go Knockoff. I think that's the set that I'm going to be looking at right here. I can even go Ice Shard in some situations, and there might be some value to Ice Shard, but I'm going to go Knockoff. full support Cetitan here. Absolutely just playing for the long game. Grimmsnarl here is going to go like Light Screen Reflect with Parting. It's going to be dual screens Grim, and then I kind of just like Spirit Break here. It's just my favorite set on Grim. And then we're going to go Rillaboom here. Definitely want the Fake Out. Definitely want the U-Turn. We're going to probably be building this guy with a Vest. And then a Grassy Glide. And I don't really know what I want this last move to be. I've been thinking of a couple different U-Turn or Rillaboom sets recently. I'm just going to put the Stomping Tantrum. Or sorry, High Horsepower. I like High Horsepower. Yeah, just good like in Sins and other stuff like that. Moltres is going to be really, really particular. I like the Protect. I like the Tailwind. I like Nasty Plot. And then I like, what is that move? You know, the good move? The best move in the game. What is it called? Fiery Wrath. This is like one of the best moves in the game. It can't miss. Has 20% chance to flinch both things. Like, this move's like super cracked. Flutter Mane, I'm going to be building the Specs. Booster is also definitely viable. I'm going to be pivoting a little bit too much. So Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball. And I will actually put the Specs Icy Wind here. We've talked about this before. That's not always required, but it's actually going to be kind of good on this team because it enables the Moltres to actually function at a different speed tier, being able to outspeed things like Landos, Ogerpons, which normally give it a little bit of problems, so I like it a lot. Chiu's probably going to be built Scarf, so it's going to be like Heat Wave, Overheat. I'm going to put Snarl here over Ruination, and I'm going to put Dark Pulse. So Ruination is usually what I like to go to, but I don't really need Ruination on this team because we have a lot of different other options. And I really, really like this team so far. The item choices are what's going to make it very unique. So we're going to put the Choice Scarf right here. We're going to put a Specs right here. We're going to put a Grassy Seeds on this guy and pair it with Rillaboom, who's Assault Vested. I mean, even though Moltres is a flying type, it's still going to get the defense boost from the seeds. It's going to be able to soak a lot of damage, and then just like, even though things like Urshifu and Shenpao resist Fiery Wrath just going to come in and still, after like a Nasty Rod 2, just O-code or two-shot most things. Especially with like screens protection from Light Clay Grim, except for we're not going to go Light Clay, we're going to go Covert Cloak, because our games aren't going to last that long. And this guy's going to have leftovers. Very, very solid looking team so far. Let's start doing our speed tiers. We don't need any speed investment. We're going to throw 4 in there just because it's going to be extra. 4 in here just because it's going to be extra. And then, again, I really like these full defense Cetitans. And our set's going to look like this. And we want to put where our nature is going to be giving us more points. So nature into this is going to look like from 117 to 128. That's 11 points versus 106 to 116, that's 10. So you get an extra point by putting it up here. So we'll take that extra point. This guy's going to be chonky AF. So thick. And pairing it with like the dual screens with our leftovers. We could also make sure to try and get our leftovers to an exact amount to get an extra health, but I don't think it really matter here. Also, like Rillaboom being able to have that Grassy Terrain sustain. Really, really good stuff. Make sure our abilities are right here too. Thick Fat, Prankster, Grassy Surge, Berserk, which is going to give us an extra special attack boost every single time our health reaches under half, which is going to be really, really good because we have Rillaboom to be able to give ourselves sustain. Flutter Mane has Photosynthesis, and we have Beads of Ruin. So good stuff here so far. Really liking this. Grimmsnarl, I like my Grimmsnarl to be a little bit faster than in Sins. They share the base speed tier. Same base speed tier. I'm going to get to 91 so I can outspeed Genies if we have a Tailwind up and they don't. We only really need 4 points there. And you just go with the 252. I'm more afraid of special attackers with Grim because I'm actually more weak of fairies than other things like that. So it's going to look something like this. This is the Grim set that I like. It's just better against things like Flutter. Rillaboom, I like having a 252 like plus attack boosting Rillaboom, but you really got to go speed reduce nature so you actually lead it into these so you can actually get your terrain up when you need it. I like that a lot. And then like a 4-4. Actually, sorry, it's just a 4. 252. This is one of the few mons that like still just goes 252 when it's not like a sweeper or a sash mon, and I like it a lot. Moltres needs to get to 121 to be able to outspeed Genies, and outspeed other things would outspeed Genies. Remember, we have the Icy Wind calcs here, so this will be able to outspeed a lot of things. From there, you don't need to go like any points in offense. I know people like to put a lot of points in offense on Moltres. You actually don't need to put like any. I like to usually put about 100 here. And then from there, we're going to go like 468. And remember, we're going to get the Grassy Seeds boost into that slot. But I like this. This just makes this Moltres super chonky, just fast enough. You get up the tail when you enable what you want to enable. After a Nasty Plot and a Berserk proc, you're kind of just going to the races. And you're giving a huge multiplier to an already base 100 special attack. It's going to be really, really good. And it's going to let Moltres hit hard. Flutter Mane. I'm going to go full button on this one. We don't need to make ourselves bulky. We want to be as fast as possible so our Icy Wind actually functions at the perfect speed tier. Imagine a board state where like I lead Flutter and I Icy Wind their Shenpao and it does like 10% and then it makes it so my Moltres, who's already at like +4, can then outspeed the same Shenpao and just Fiery Wrath. And that's going to be playing around Sash. It's going to be playing around a lot of things they wouldn't actually see coming, so it's really, really good stuff. What are they going to do, Sucker Punch the Moltres? Probably not. Chews also, button presser, extraordinaire. Want to be as fast as possible so I can hit as hard as I really want to here. So really, really good team. Last thing we need to do is fix our Terras. I like double dipping my Fire Terra here. It's just something I'm a big fan of. Fluttermane, I like double dipping my Fairy Terra here. And Moltres goes Fire or Poison. We're going to go Fire for this one. Rillaboom can go... Rillaboom usually would go Fire as well. What do I want to go with on Rillaboom? It's a hard decision. Rillaboom can go like 3 or 4 different Terras. I'll go Fire as well. It's just very standard on this guy. Grim, we're going to go Poison. Just because I think that like I like it on this set. We don't need to go Ghost or anything weird. Yeah, Poison, right? Where is it? Poison right here. And Cetitan, I'm going to go Ghost. Just because like I want to be able to always stick my Yawns. So this is going to be a very, very cool looking team. I like this a lot. We're going to be leading like a lot of Cetitan Grim, going for like a screen, Yawn, and like a hard switch Rilla, and like a closeout with like Moltres or Flutter. So it should be pretty good. And hopefully we get some wins with this, because Cetitan's a pretty cool mon. And yes, this is a lot more of like a Flutter Moltres team, but I do think like the dual screen Cetitan with like the right teammate, you can just close out so many games. I think the main team that we really wanted to feature was that cool Gigas team. Now, I will say against Urshifu, you can't outvalue Urshifu. It's not going to work. He's just going to crit through everything. That's one of the reasons why like Moltres is still good, because if it is Urshi Water, it's not going to be able to one-shot us. And if it's Urshi Dark, it just doesn't have a good matchup here. So that being said, what do we need to do to disincentivize Urshifu from having a huge impact in this match? I think we probably want to lead Rillaboom and Flutter. I know that seems really weird, but if they do lead Urshi, you can fake out and attack it. And if it's a Scarf Urshi, it's going to lose the game. If it's not a Scarf Urshi, we'll see what happens there. We do need to bring Cetitan. And then because we already have these, we might as well bring the Moltres, right? I think Moltres is still going to be pretty good here. So there's Torn Urshi. We just want to go fake out. We can even Grassy Glide and stuff, but like I do think that like fake out plus degleaming of that guy is going to be a lot of damage, and at the very least it'll set it up for like a Grassy Glide, so big damage here. Protect Torn, I ain't even heard of that, bro. Protect, hey, good play from them. I like this. I like the double protect. That means it's going to be Mystic Water, right? It's Mystic Water, right? So that means I can just go Grassy Glide right here. They're going to be attacking right here. I'm probably going to be pivoting in this Titan. Look how much damage we don't have to care about here. Grassy Glide should be a 2-shot into this Urshifu, by the way. We could Wood Hammer if I had Wood Hammer, but I don't. So there's a Tailwind. Grassy Glide, big damage, almost gets the KO. Look at this, dude. Cetitan just soaks this. This is a Water Terra Surging Strike. Someone was like, dude, I don't care. I don't care. Look at all that health we just got back too. We can soak this Bleak Wind easy peasy. So I'm gonna Grassy Glide again, and I'm just gonna stick a Yawn into the Torn. You can taunt me, but I doubt it, right? I can also Protect and get some valuable. Oh, he's swapping in here, dude. That's so much value. Protect is absolutely fine. Yeah, because next turn you're gonna fake out here, but like, do I care? Because the next turn your Instinct goes to sleep, right? So let's realistically think about the right play here. I'm not afraid here. I'm not afraid here either. So Grassy Glide there. Yawn the same slot. What are you going to do? Swap out? You're just going to get Yawn cycled here. Right, so Titan kind of nice. Fake out. Hey, go nuts. You can take out the Titan. Dude, it's all yours. You barely got it too. And now you have an Asleep in Sin. Right? Value. Value. So now I can take that thing out and just set up a free Tailwind here. Or a free Nasty Plot. I think I'm in a Nasty Plot. Like, why do I care what you're doing here? This is your last turn of Tailwind. Yeah, so I can just check that and Nasty Plot. I can Tailwind whenever I feel like it. And so that defense boost is going to be kind of nice. I want to be able to make sure I can take out the Arcaludon whenever I feel like it. And if I'm not really giving you shots, like if you have to bring in Torn next turn, you can't taunt here, then I Tailwind, then we're trading Tailwinds, and then my Flutter won't be one your Arcaludon on the back. Kind of nice, dude. Thanks for the donation. Accepted, Cetitan. You could pivot out for Torn. Go nuts. Yeah, absolutely fine. I don't think I need the terrain here. I don't think I necessarily need it. I think I can actually just double KO both of these things and just U-turn. I don't think this kills here. I don't think it does. You can Tailwind again. You don't have to. I wonder if they're going to Bleak Wind plus Surging Strikes does KO here, I think. Maybe I should have Tailwinded. It's hard to say. But then they still would have just Tailwinded here. But I think, like I said, I think I eat one. So let's see what they want to do here. They could pivot in Sin. I just don't think they break the Moltres. We're just so chonky. Yeah, this is so much damage. I'm able to reapply literally everything. Tailwind's nice here. Big damage into that Torn. Big damage in the Incin. Bring in our Flutter. And then like, what do you do here? You know? Like this turn I'm gonna Tailwind. And I'm probably just going to I don't know if I want to Moonblast or D-Gleam. I think I'm going to Moonblast the Incin and just trade Tailwinds and let the Torn do whatever it wants. Hopefully I don't get any speed drops, but it should be fine. The Incin has to be asleep here. Rain Dance. Pop it like it's hot. You have an Aqua Jet ready to go. And they have a couple turns up to Tailwind with our Rillaboom in the back to be able to fake out Pin. So both these mons threaten Archaludon. There it is. There's the boy. Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Dude, he's going to get popped. Really like that I locked into Moonblast there. Should be able to get the KO. And they can't both, like, KO the Flutter and, like, respect the Moltres at the same time. You could Electro Shot the Moltres. It might not even get the KO. Or you could go after the Flutter with, like, a Heavy Slam. But you can't do both, right? You can't do both. I think your best play here, if you had Protect on Archaludon, would be to Protect and try and weave in a Bleak when you get speed drops. But at the same time, if you have Protect Archaludon, it's not vested and it just gets popped. Big damage there. Stamina boost is absolutely fine. Fiery Wrath, we're at +2. Almost gets the KO on that best set. Do we get a flinch? Electro Shot. It's okay. Doesn't even get the KO. He's too bulky. He has like no offense investment. Look how good of a situation we're in here. We do outspeed there. I think you actually want to go Moonblast here because we know this one outspeeds already. And their Tailwind's ending, right? So we know we can get that off. We want to get the Torn off the board because we know we outspeed there. He gets a double Protect, which is incredibly unlucky for us. Incredibly unlucky, but at the end of the day, it's still probably fine because he's going to go for a fadeaway Tailwind here. And then we have 3 mons, one of them being a Rilla in the back to be able to close it out. So again, Moonblast, I think you still want to target down that Torn and just go for a Fire Wrath. You can't stop both, right? I feel like if you want to go like, what? If you go, yeah, we can just completely ignore this Urshi. If we get the Torn off the board, Rillaboom wins the game. But unlucky double Protect. Yeah, they go for the Protector. They're going for Protect Tailwind, but it's not the right play. Make sure that thing goes down. And then from there, Moonblast, Fire Wrath, and we do win the game. So Cetitan, it may not have seemed like it was like the best Pokemon ever, but it gave us the board state that we actually needed to set up, right? Let's go back and check out the replay here. And I just want to shout out their Archaludon set. It was like full HP Spadef, because it should have just KO'd us with an Electro Shot, but it didn't have it. Like, I really like this Cetitan here. We soaked multiple turns of damage from a Water Terra full attack looking like adamant Mystic Water Urshi Water, right? That is nuts. This Pokemon just ate so much damage, and it came in and alleviated all forms of pressure and was able to yawn to let us establish a winning board state with like Rillaboom and Moltres. Pokemon did such a good job, and I think this Pokemon does fit really well onto a lot of different teams that are looking for like, not necessarily an Amoonguss, but like a kind of like a Red Mage Pokemon, a Pokemon that can kind of just do it all. We have leftovers, we have Yawn, we have Ice Moon, we have Knockoff. This Pokemon just fits on so many different teams, and again, like I said at the start of the video, this was a viewer-requested Pokemon, so if you have a Pokemon you want me to build 3 completely different teams that show completely different playstyles around, let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, be sure to check out all the Pokepastes. All 3 of these Pokepastes will be in the comments, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys made it this far, leave a comment with your favorite pizza topping. Leave a comment with your favorite pizza topping. If you made it this far in the video, I want to know. My personal favorite is those little pepperoni cups. It's not just pepperoni, but it's those pepperoni cups. Those are my personal favorite. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.